You don't want a float trip jam?
I, do you have one? I
I do.
mean, is it the first one? Because
It's
it's
the
like,
first.
okay, I'm good with that. We can totally do that. But this was one of the big events that the radio station hosted every year and still does, which is kudos to that station and that team for keeping an event around for a long time. That's not an easy thing to do. Um, and it's really the biggest thing that they've had going for ever,
Yeah.
is this float trip. And it's the Super Bowl of the year for the radio station, right? Like this is the biggest event, biggest opportunities for them to make money on sponsorships, and biggest opportunity for us to connect with our listeners because it was specifically this radio station's, float trip,
Yeah.
and so we did what we did and made a song about it,
If you're
and it
in
was
the
going to.
if you're in the Chicagoland area, I don't know that float trips are super. So if you're listening from as a Chicago listener, float trip is essentially thousands of people on rafts at the same time on a river that cannot support that many rafts. So it's a bottleneck all the way down this river, but drinking
It's the
DJ
biggest party I've
songs.
ever seen.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a camping event. So you do it twice. You drink one night, you float the next, you drink that night, and then everybody goes home on Sunday. But there's concerts as well.
Mhm. It eventually expanded to 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday in some
Yeah.
years and stuff. So you would go Thursday, set up your campsite, crash out, Friday, party, crash out, Saturday, float, then a concert again. Like there's multiple concerts, camping, floating. Like you could hop on the inner tube and just float down the river. Now I grew up in Michigan and we had that. We went tubing, just like very calm, never at the level that it was when we went to this float trip, which was I think on the Merrimack and the Hoosier River. So it's like down there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, so this is, yeah, maybe something you've never heard of, but is a big deal for not only this station, but I think a lot of folks. I think it's a big Missouri thing, especially with the Ozarks and the number of rivers and stuff.
Very
Um,
much.
it was the big like keystone event for this radio station. So we did songs about it, and it just so happened to be right after. Like a lot of our inspiration, I think people can tell, is in the Lonely Island and
Yes.
Andy Samberg
God, I
and
miss those guys so much. I think about it daily, how much I miss The Lonely Island and
yeah.
those shorts, those music videos that they did. It was so inspiring and so much fun.
And
So,
so of course I'm on a boat with T-Pain inspired our first float trip jam. Note the branding, by the way. Every song we ever did was a jam. Like, I mean, how can you can't say every song we did wasn't a jam because we specifically branded it that way.
yeah,
Anyway,
definitely
so
wasn't a jelly, that's for sure.
nope, is a float trip jam. Oh,
Pause
can,
real quick.
brilliant.
See the line down at the bottom of that?
Yeah.
I never could get that off. I don't know how that was. It was
It's
in every single video.
It was one
Just
pixel at the
I
bottom of
just
that image
all
or
I needed to
something.
do was just crop it a little bit.
Nah.
I hadn't figured that out yet, so.
Just I love this intro, by the way. THX all day.
What's up, guys?
What's happening, man?
Hey, Brizzo.
Anyway, float trip time. 3 fit in the cabin, so it'll be me,
Can you
Mason,
pause? Can you pause real
and
quick?
Remy.
What am I doing over there? We never sat like that.
There was never no, not at all. I'll give a shout out to Dusty for coming in and being in the videos with us and being a good sport about this because didn't know how it was gonna go. We had just met like in the months prior. We didn't have any like creative juices between us. Like we had just we were figuring out like it was just us, like Remy and I, and we had this idea and we came in and thankfully everybody played along with us on a lot of levels because they could have been like, what? No. But D-Pain was a good sport here.
Yeah, this is also we're setting this up because we are so short-staffed and it just is Mason and I.
Mhm.
We're setting this up to be able to remove me from the video so that I can shoot it.
Because he's filming.
Yes.
We made a storyline to make sure you knew why Remy wasn't on camera.
Yes.
Because we did not have a budget for a video clip. I think something we always thought we would have was like once we pop off, they'll hook us up with production money. Like they'll understand that we can be so much better. Spoiler alert, they never did. Later there were a ton of people who helped us. So I'm just kidding. But in this, yeah, Remy was shooting the float trip video, and so we made it a plot point as to why he wasn't in the video.
Let's just watch a little bit. We don't have to watch the whole thing.
No. Actually, I already guaranteed it to my buddy D-Pain. Cool.
Oh, snaps! Get your towels ready. It's about to go down. Everybody get on your tube or in your canoe or lay on your cheap little inflatable raft. Get your beers.
Hey, isn't this song like 2 years old?
You know what, dude? That's why you're not going. I'm on a float. I'm about to float. Fasten up your life jackets, cause it's almost time to float. I'm about to float. I'm gonna float. Last weekend in August, we're going on a float trip. I'm on the bull float trip. Take a look at me. Already sunburned. It's not even 3. A whole weekend to party. The sky is clear. The sun shines on 6,000 people every year. We float all day. We party all night. Keyword float when you hit the Bull website. I got my water wings, flippy floppies, and my beers. Never learned how to swim, getting laughed at by my peers. I'll put my toes in the sand like the Zac Brown band. Me and Billy posted up, drinking our hand. Leave your cell phone at the campsite. Find shade under a tree. No cell service here. Relax. No need to thank me. Quick sign up. This trip has limited occupancy.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be on a float. That shallow water we roll.
Dude, I want to say shout out to Diego. Do you remember Diego?
I do. Yeah, please move on. No offense.
Okay.
Thanks, bud. Thank you. So there's
Diego
so much
came in with the auto tune.
He did.
That was like a thing that didn't really exist at that time. It was easy to get, but
yeah, I was gonna comment on that. Like, he sounded good. Like, and that was thanks to Diego. And this was not at the Bull float trip. Sorry, it was on a river in St. Charles, if I remember correctly.
It was
wasn't
on the Katy Trail on the Missouri River. Yeah, that's the Missouri River in the background. And we ended up at some lake or something that Dusty's family owned or something, and that's where the dock stuff was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Or it was a friend of a friend. I don't remember, but like
you never shot a float trip video at a float.
Yeah, well, I remember we went down one time in advance, like days before, or months before, but like never at the float trip because obviously we needed it to promote it. So crazy to see that and think about like where we were in that time, and just very, very funny to look back on a lot of these moments. So shout out to a lot of people that were involved in those moments, especially like everybody at Ozark Outdoors, who was so cool during all those years. Man, there's just awesome. There's so many great folks who, like, a lot of what we did wouldn't have been great without a lot of the support that we had, and they may not have understood what we were doing, but they were like, okay, yeah, cool, go for it, whatever you need, let us know what you need, in some of those times. But there was a lot of that.